Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. For those that are coming in, I'll give you some time before we get into this. We got a little bit of things, a couple things to discuss this morning. So, see if we get anybody in here. One like. Somebody pounded the like before they came in. How about that? Good morning. Who we got with us this morning? Let's see here. Billy Martin, good morning, buddy. How's it going? 6, 7, 8. All right, they're starting to come in. Dr. Strange part, man. I giggle every time I see your name. How's it going, Mark? Got some things I want to kick around with you guys today. Up until recently, I haven't really been spending as much time in my forge as I have been recently with all the hammer orders that I'm getting. And a lot of that's due to the business that I run. I'm a partner. I have a partner in a hardscape business. We're equal partners in it, and it takes a lot of our time. And most of the time, my forging and everything that I did was just for fun and for what I was doing, you know. And it wasn't. I didn't really sell anything. I didn't find the need to try to supplement income with that, but. Some of you folks know me a little better than others, but for the ones that know me a little better, they know that we're coming to an issue with old Uncle Sam with the business and the way tax laws are changing and everything, and it's causing a big hit on the business to where we're having to minimize quite a bit so we can sustain it and keep going. And you know, it's a tough hit to take, but I think it's something that we can overcome. But that being said, that's going to result in me having to spend a little more time in my forge to supplement some income to take care of my family, because a lot of the income's going to Uncle Sam right now. And so I'm taking a lot of orders. I'm selling more of my work. People can buy more stuff from me because I will have more time to spend in my forge. It's unfortunate what I'm having to go through right now. It's not y'all's problem. I think this is the best way for me to try to keep my living going for my family. I got a family of 5 that I take care of solely, and they mean the world to me. I do anything for them. So 16, 17, 18-hour days is nothing for me if it means feeding my kids. So that being said, if anybody has any interest in things other than hammers, I do make tools, top tools, things like that, punches, chisels, all that kind of stuff. I'm not professional by any means. I make quality tools, but I'm not making things like you're going to buy from Blacksmith Depot. You know, if you want something made machine perfect with jigs every single time, call them. But if you want something with a little bit of passion in it, handmade stuff with quality, my heart in it, I'm your guy. I'm probably going to open a few more hammer slots. I know I'd said that I was closing the hammer sales because it's a lot, but I am spending more time out here. I'm going to have to. So for those that I had to turn away, hit me up, because it could become a reality that I'm going to need the income from forging more now than I ever have. That's just simply put. I hope you guys appreciate the time I spend on YouTube. It takes a lot of time to do this. I don't have a Patreon account, you know, because I never thought that a small channel like me would, you know, have as many people interested in what I do, so I never really explored that avenue. But I have had a few people mention it to me as of late, even without knowing my situation, because up until this video, only a couple people in this group here knew what my situation was, and they just knew about it recently, so I'm kind of private with that. So it's a tough pill to swallow, but you know, it is what it is. They've said, hey, let's set up a Patreon, because we really love the fact that you're putting out all these videos. We're learning a lot. And I've given it some thought, and I want to present it to you guys. What do you guys think about a Patreon? I mean, 500 subscribers, but I have a pretty good following that's here every single day that I'm on. You know, they watch every video. They follow me on Facebook. They keep in contact with me. You know, I've become friends with several of you. I just don't know if, you know, is that an avenue? Could I realistically support my family with YouTube and blacksmithing and stuff like that enough to subsidize income that I'm going to be losing to Uncle Sam? Because I'm going to go ahead and tell you straightforward, liable for quite a bit of money due to switching from sole proprietorship straight to an LLC without the proper paperwork. Well, the proper paperwork was filed. It was filed wrong, and the state took 8 months to process it. So, long story short, I am personally liable for 8 months of the company's income as my income taxes. So that's a kick in the guts, you know. So it's forcing me to do these kind of things, and I hope you guys really do mean what you say when you say you want me to start a Patreon, because I'm really looking into doing that, and it means the world to me that you guys think enough of me to even tell me to do something like that. So, but I'm gonna get to some comments here real quick. Let's see. A lot of good mornings from Kansas. Coffee's here. Coffee Forge. Dennis Collins. Pretty sure you can make some tooling to speed up making hammers. Dr. Strangefart, you're absolutely right, brother. That is in the making. I've got the plans for the Clay Spencer tire hammer I've purchased. So I'm gonna be building a tire hammer soon to speed that up. I don't want to deviate too far away from my hand forged style. It's always going to be the same hammer, but it will help me with punching the eye and drifting it out a lot quicker. It will also help me with a lot of different things for the, I can mass produce them faster if I have to. I've always been one to like to do things by hand. I just enjoy the traditional side of it, but also understand that if you want to make money at it, you got to do it fast. You got to be quick. I know that from the business side of running a business, doing hardscape. You're going to build patios, do fence, landscape, stuff like that. It's a lot of people can do it, but not a lot of people can do it fast enough to make a profit, and that correlates into every part of any kind of business. You got to be able to speed up production to turn a profit if you plan on making it in that business. So yeah, Dr. Strangefart, brother, power hammer's coming, and I will be making a video on it. So inline treadle, yeah, I just don't. I've looked into treadle hammers, and I've talked to some smiths that have them, and they tell me they wear their leg out faster than they would have if they just used their hand. You know, their knees get wore out so much faster. Pneumatic drift might help more, Mark. Yeah, that is something also to look into. I've been watching some of Christ-Centered Ironworks videos on their pneumatic hammer, the different punches and stuff, and I think that's a definite option to try and look into until the power hammer is complete. So I've actually thought about doing that. So the drift tool on a press to make the handle slot in one heat. That's exactly what I'm looking for, Dr. Strangefort, is making the hammer punch and drift to where it's a one heat operation. I could punch the plug and drift it all in one heat. That would speed it up tremendously. The fullers don't take near as much time as the punching, drifting, and doing the cheeks. That's what takes the time on it. And I can still achieve the exact same hammer. You know, my hammer up here, I can still achieve. These are some that I've got ready to go out. I can still achieve that with a press or a power hammer. Make them look exactly like that. You know, there's no warning. So let's see, got some more comments here. So Jason from HOJ Ford stopped in. Good morning, my dad's here. Good morning, Dad. Shouldn't you be driving? By the way, my father's on his way up here. They're actually looking at getting a house up here and moving back this way towards the kids and everything. So wish him luck. He's got an interview today up here as well. Good luck, Dad. I really hope you get the job. I hope everything goes well for you so you can be up here near us, because we would love to have you back up here. All right, Billy Martin, gotta go plant a few trees at work later. See you, brother. Good morning. You have been making some of those automatic punch tools. Which automatic punch tools would that be? Ben Toombs, I'm not sure what you're talking about. 3,000 hits a minute makes things faster, but it does wear on the body. Yeah, it does. I've used power hammers, and but it'll help me speed up for sure, no doubt about it. Brian Beck. Let's see, it might be one of yours. I have to look at the stack of orders. Good luck, sir. Yeah, good luck, Dad. Late but made it, Derek. Good morning, how you doing? Jason, when you coming back upstate, brother? Side note, Purple Heart be good enough to make a handle for a 20 ounce or a 24 ounce and a 2-pound hammer respectively. I'm planning on making my own hammers after I get my shop back up and running. Purple Heart, I've never worked much with Purple Heart, but I have heard other people say that it would make a decent hammer. I like hickory and ash better than anything. A lot of people use Osage orange as well. But I do know Osage orange, if you don't orient the grain properly, it is going to wear your hand out. The vibration from that, 'cause that stuff is hard. It doesn't have any much give if you don't orient it right. So it's not really a beginner's wood for a handle. If you don't know much about wood, I wouldn't go with Osage orange until you learn more about it. I'd stick to the basic hickory and ash. But if you only have access to Purple Heart, do some research, because I'm not really familiar with it. I've heard people use it before. So, Derek, you make enough of those hammers. Let's make the next one interesting and do it blindfolded. I don't know if my hands could survive that, man, because I got to swing a pretty good sized hammer pretty hard on them hammers. One miss, finding out the hard way would suck. It really would. It would suck bad. Matter of fact, you see the middle of my thumbnail right there? That happened in a video that I put out about 2 months ago. And I didn't even hit my thumbnail. I was I was chasing a line on a railroad spike to do a pineapple twist for a fella, a young guy that had asked me to do one that I'd met. And the spike rolled as I hit it, and I totally missed the chisel, and I hit my thumb here. But I hit it so damn hard that it turned my thumbnail purple. So no, I don't think I'll be doing anything blindfolded. NC hat, I'm here in Wisconsin. Yep, North Carolina. That's where I was born and raised. Yeah, Osage orange is horrible. Cut and resharpen the saw blade constantly. Yeah, it is a tough wood, man. It's really, really tough. And especially if you don't orient the grain properly, you're gonna, it's the vibration from that. Oh, Winston-Salem. Okay, George, gotcha. The vibration from Osage orange is really gonna wear you out. If kind of give you a reference, if any of you ever hit a baseball, played any baseball growing up, and you hit the ball with the tip of the bat, how it shakes real hard, that's what Osage orange does to you if you do not orient the grain the right way. It's gonna hurt every time. It's a pain. Try IPE. Are you talking about like a lignum vitae or whatever it's called? I think that's something like that. That's the stuff that they used to use in ship rudders or bearings for the propeller bearings and stuff, because it has absolutely no wear value submerged in water. It doesn't rot, doesn't break down. It's one of the hardest woods on earth. It actually has a natural oil to it, so it made a great bearing. That stuff is crazy dense. You are absolutely right. It is insanely hard, and it will last forever. Plain and simple. They just recently stopped using it as bearings for propeller shafts. Uncle Billy, how you doing? Brian Beck, you're in Albemarle. That's awesome. So if you also saw, we just did a giveaway. We're growing pretty fast. Big Dog, you finally made it, brother. Glad to see you finally make it to one while I was here. I know you've been trying to get to them, just keep missing them. So everybody say hey to Tim over at Big Dog Forge, man. Go check him out. He's awesome. I know you guys have seen, just recently we hit 500 subscribers, man. It's not a big deal to most YouTube people, but to me it is, because when I started this thing, I was like, yeah, it'd be cool if I had 100 people that watch me. And we've already hit 500 in 3 months, man. That's crazy. So as of now, I want you guys to start sending in requests of what you want for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, because I think we're going to hit it, and I think we're going to hit it quick. So send in some requests of what you guys, don't make it nothing crazy. I know they're probably going to get a lot of requests for hammers. I can already see that. So if that's really what you guys want to see for your 1,000 subscriber giveaway, then send it in to me, man, and I'll see what I can do. But don't forget, I like ornamental blacksmithing as well. I like to make neat little things, cool little items and trinkets and decorative things and tools and stuff like that. There are multiple other top tools other than hammers that you could request. So try to be open-minded when you request it. That'd be awesome. M&S Blades, what's up, Martin? How's it going, brother? I have not gotten, Combat Abrasives did not call me back after me and you emailed with each other the other day. If you could, I don't know if a conference call would work for me during the week because I'm so busy, but if they could shoot me an email or just give me a call, and if I don't answer, leave a message so I can call them back, that would be awesome, and I'll get right back to them. I made a bearing axle yo-yo out of an IPE, and it weighs a ton, spins forever, and could administer a concussion on a failed trick. Yeah. Had to sharpen your gouge. Exactly. That's one of the problems as well with OSA joiners. You're constantly having to resharpen your tools, man. It was so damn tough. That and that IPE, that lignum, it'll wear them out fast, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Fire-breathing dinosaur. Is that what you want? I'll see what I can do, Ben. Fire-breathing dinosaur. Let's see. But yeah, like I said, if you guys really think I could do something with a Patreon, I don't know much about it. If anybody knows anything about it and is willing to help me out with that, contact me at my email. I'll put it in the description of this video when we're done. Build idea, kind of a spin-off title, the Full Metal Hatchet. Like with an integral handle? A one-piece hatchet? Or do you mean like make a hatchet head like I normally would and then take a piece of steel round bar and forge it into like a wooden handle per se and put it in? Is that what you're thinking? Get it hot, run it in there, and then drive a steel wedge into it to spread it apart? Yeah, like a full-on military one. A repose hammer. I like that idea. Repose hammer. I do make repose hammers, chasing hammers, things like that, folks. So I like that idea. Definitely. Tongs. Tongs could be a good one if you guys are interested in that. Don't take my last live stream as evidence of my tong making ability, because I don't normally do my tongs on a live stream, so less likely of me to burn them up. Okay, will the hatchet yell at you like Arlie Ermy when you hit something with it? Only if you hit it wrong, Dr. Strange Fart. Only if you hit it wrong. It's probably going to call you Gomer Pyle. 112 inches of stainless. Nice. I've never worked with stainless, Martin, so let me know how that goes, man. I'm not a stainless kind of guy. Also, I want to talk about forging it forward, man. That thing is blown up, guys. Really, it really has. And it's thanks to everybody like you folks that are here. We're doing big things, and it's coming close to the end of the month. You need to get your bios in. I can't stress that enough. We don't have very many bios, guys. Plain and simple. I don't know if that's because people don't want to feel like they're asking for help or asking for something, or is there really that few smiths that need the help and really just that many smiths that want to help? I'm not sure. So we need bio videos. If you are down on your luck, now don't come to us if you got a full shop. Okay, and when I say full shop, I mean, do you got a grinder? Do you got an anvil or something like an anvil? I mean, do you have hammers? Do you have what we had when we started? Because we started where you guys are starting when we wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or are you to the point where you can't even buy a hammer? You have to choose between food and buying an anvil. You have to choose between food and buying forge fuel. You know what I'm saying? we want folks that, really, really could benefit from this, because a lot of the folks in the makers that started Forging It Forward, they don't even have some of the stuff that we're sending out in these packages, okay? But they have the mindset that they understand enough to where they can get to that point on their own. They either have a good enough job to where they can afford to go and buy steel stock to make their tools, or they can afford to buy a hammer a little at a time, so that's why they aren't in the drawing. They understand that. We want folks that every paycheck, that week in and week out, is going towards bills or something that you got to pay, that you never have any extra for anything. That's who we want. That's who we want to help, because you got to show passion in it. You can't just say, yeah, send me free shit because I want your stuff. That's not going to work. We want to see you. We want to see where you plan to have a shop, where you plan to do your work. If you already do some work, show us what you're using. If you're showing us you have a piece of mild steel with a pair of vice grips and you're trying to use a charcoal grill unmodified because you don't have the stuff to make it into a forge, as a forger you're digging a hole in the ground, that's who we want to see. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's got enough passion to go dig a hole in the ground and do it. It shows us that we're sending our tools that we're making and that we're donating to. Yeah, they're digging a barbecue, Derek. Is that what it is? No, we want to see the folks that have enough passion to go out there, instead of saying, I can't do it because I don't have what these guys have. I want to see them say, I can do it because I found a big chunk of steel over there that's nice and heavy, and I think I could build a fire and get it hot, that's still hot enough, and turn it into something. You know what I'm saying? If you've got tools, if you've got forge, you've got all this stuff, you have the ability to make stuff already. I built my belt sander because I had the ability to. I didn't make my anvil, I bought my anvil, but my first anvil was a block of steel, okay, and then I saved up and bought an anvil. But there's folks that could never save up to buy anything close to an anvil, ever. They could never buy a welder to make an anvil. They don't have folks that had it to give to them, to help them out, say, hey, here's a sander, or here's tools from your grandfather that he had when he was your age. We want those folks that have seen a passion in this and have no other avenues of exploring it. Not folks that are already able to do it and just all they need is the knowledge and the guidance to make the tools that they need to keep going. Okay? If you send us something and we see that you have tools to be able to make it, we're not going to give you the package. We're going to give you knowledge and try and help you learn how to make the things that we're giving to folks that don't even have the ability to put knowledge to work because of their situation. You understand what I'm saying? So those folks need to get us a bio in before the 31st, because the first day of April, and we're going to be deciding. It goes from, at that point, the admins, it'll go to each admin gets a nomination. We're going to nominate someone of all the bios we get, and each of us gets to nominate one person. And once we all pick our nominee, then it'll go to a voting committee. They will get the bios for those nominees, and they will watch them, and they will vote on each one, and the winner gets the package. If we have a tie, Jason from HOJ Forge determines the tiebreaker. He started it. It's his baby. It's his beast. He gets the final say on where it's going. And we have to make sure that it stays wholesome, that we're not just giving it to undeserved people that are just going to turn around as soon as I get it and sell it. You know what I'm saying? Or people that are just getting it just to get it. We need to make sure that we're sending someone with passion, because our goal with Forging It Forward is to bring this passion of this art back to life, to help folks that want to use it to better themselves, whether it be through PTSD, trauma in their life, depression, anxiety, the thirst for
making something, being a creator, to produce things with your hands that you can be proud of, to induce pride in you, self-worth. That's what we want to promote in folks, because it does amazing things for my self-worth. Okay, it sometimes it does more for me, for my self-worth, than it does have owning a business. Okay, so that's who we want to send it to, and that's our main objective here. We have tons and tons and tons of people willing to give, and that's amazing. But we only have a handful of folks that want it bad enough to send us a bio already. Some of the bios people are more forthcoming than others, but all in all, what we expect out of a bio is we want to see you on camera, not your spouse, not anybody. If you got kids that are interested in it, you don't have to put them on the camera. Tell us about it. Tell us about your kids and their interests. I understand some folks don't want to put their kids on camera, and I get that. I'm kind of the same way. But let us know, hey, our children are into this and they want to do this with me. You know, they're the one fueling the fire and passion in me to learn how to do this, because they have fallen in love with it. That's amazing. That's what we want to see. If you have a shop, show it to us. You know, if you have tools, show them to us. If you don't have tools, tell us what tools you want or you need, you think you could use that would benefit you the most. Those are what needs to go in a good bio, and we need them by the 31st, folks. We gotta have them. Let's see. I've been thinking about forging it forward. Wonder if we could make a series of instructionals for absolutely dirt cheap basic tools to give away. I'm thinking about stuff like rebar tongs and such. Dr. Strangefart, if you would get up with Ryan Schwetter of, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Ryan. I'm sorry if it's not, buddy, don't kill me. One of the admins at Forging It Forward. He's kind of on the same lines with you. We have a program we're getting ready to put into effect. Different parts of the forge, like the forge, the forge series, the hammer series, the anvil, different sectors of smithing are going to cover different types of things, you know, and he's got a Google Doc put together, and we're going to be going over that shortly. And get up with him if you would like to help with that, because that's a great idea and he could probably use some help. Let's see. I'm not worthy, only do for a hobby. Mark S. Everybody is worthy, even if it is just a hobby, brother. Everyone is worthy. Yes, Martin, yes, you did do a bio, and thank you for the bio. But if I must say, sir, if you keep feeling like that we've singled you out on your bio, then I'm going to single you out on the video. So please, with your comments, take a step back and look at what you're saying to me, sir, because I'm just as straightforward as you, buddy. 99% of people who are watching already have the basics. Yeah, Ben, too. I think they do, and that's awesome. Comes down to it a little bit. You're not worried about what you're worried about is the bigger things in life. I have a feeling, yeah. Tools or daughter's rent. Derek, I understand that, brother. Yeah, I seen that post the other day, and we have your bio, so there you go. I'll leave it at that. Buying a tire hammer, the idea of counterweight is messing with my mind, a bit out of balance, the rim wobbles. George, have you ever used one of the one that Clay Spencer designed, the plans that he came up with, the one that Raymond he sells? I've used one, and that thing ran just as smooth as a pneumatic hammer, smoother than a treadle hammer, and all in all, I think for a lower budget, for someone on a lower budget, the tire hammer is top of the line, man. That's why I'm gonna build one, because it just runs so smooth if you do it, if it's put together in the proper way. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I'm getting to some of these comments. There's a bunch of them. Derek and his barbecue. It's a grill. Just for anybody that knows, it's a grill. Barbecuing is what you do to the meat. You're putting barbecue sauce on it. Okay? Barbecue sauce. It's a type of sauce. Okay? If you're out there putting Italian dressing on your chicken, you're not barbecuing shit. You're grilling out. You're cooking on a grill over top of some coals, cooking your chicken. Barbecuing is not the act of cooking out. Please. Gosh. It will be safe to see the belt grinder. Sad to see the belt grinder go. Yeah, John, it'd probably be safe too, considering how much meat you're eating off your knuckles. Martin, is it okay if I call to talk about it? Not at the moment right now, brother. I don't really know what to say to you, to be honest with you. I'm not the deciding factor in that, for one, on the Forging It Forward package. I only get one nomination. I will say this, you aren't my nomination. I apologize if that upsets you. I've already sent the hammer out there to you that you clearly like, and I'm glad that you like it and you're going to use it, because that thing's a beaut, and I think that it's going to do awesome things for you, and you're going to do awesome things with it. But as far as me nominating you for this package, no, sir. It's not going to happen. Phone call's not going to help. You've got kilns, you've got grinders, you've got an anvil, you've got forges, you've got 2 custom-made rounding hammers, one from Dave McConnell, one from me. You've got all kinds of things. What else can I say, man? Use those tools to make you some money, if that's what you need to do, brother. But we're not here to upgrade your shop. So if you keep going down the road you're going about the Forging It Forward, wanting this package, brother, and every single live feed that we do, if you keep that up, we're just not going to associate with you at all. I'm sorry, but no, please stop. I had a good fortune of buying a full enough shop to make a quality product after saving my late uncle's 200-pound Peter Wright from 7 years in the elements. I won't be looking for handouts. Dr. Strangefart, man, I wish I was lucky enough to get a 200-pound Peter Wright. Whew. Yeah, I got a Vulcan. It works great. I didn't really have anybody in my family that was into blacksmithing too much. My grandfather was a woodworker. I got a lot of his woodworking tools, and those were a godsend. They really were. Some of the stuff I got from him was rather expensive to buy these days to get something like that. And it's awesome when you got family you can get those things from, man. It really is. Let's see. Creator, maker, whatever you are, do yourself. Maker, whatever, or a do-it-yourself type personality. That's right. A creator. Someone who likes to do things with their hands. Pickle Hammer Forge, hey, late, but I'm here. What's going on, Jonathan? Like you said, after watching Chandler Dixon's video of hammering on his knees in the driveway, use a claw, carpenter's hammer, some channel locks, and a truck rotor. Exactly, Derek. Someone that's that passionate about it, they're going to get on their damn knees in their driveway with a claw hammer and a pair of vice grips beating on a brake drum. That's who we want to help. That's who we know that this isn't just going to be a flash in the pan for, okay? We know that it's not just going to be one of them passing things in their life that they picked up just because they saw a show. I think that those are the kind of people that are going to pursue this, and like Chandler did, he went from his driveway to a shop, and now look, he's moving into a bigger shop. May it be by circumstances that he was not happy with, he is still doing it, and he's moving to an even bigger shop. So that's the people that we want to do. And Martin, I understand you love it as much as we do, brother, but you need to put yourself on the other side of that coin, okay? Draw a 6 and a 9 in the sand for a second, if you would, sir. If I stand on this side of that number, it looks like a 6 to me, but if you stand on the other side, it looks like a 9. I feel like you're not willing to step across the line and look at it from my side, or our side, and look at how many tools you have compared to some of these folks out here that have to pay their daughter's rent and not be able to buy their own groceries, let alone not go have Dave McConnell make them a rounding hammer. Someone donated them a kiln that can be turned into a heat treating oven like that. You know, a family member that bought them a belt sander. You know, those are not the people we're trying to help. So until you're willing to come across my side of the coin and look at it, stop with the shit about you in this package. Because you have more than I have. I don't have a heat treat oven. I use my wife's induction oven in the house. Okay? You have a kiln. You put your son's sander down in your video, said it was a piece of shit. Your son gave that to you. Okay? So until you can come to terms with that and start seeing it from someone else's point of view, stop with those comments. I don't want to kick you off my channel, Mark, because I like you, man, but you're this freaking close if you keep that shit up. Sorry, I got a little excited there. I'm passionate about this. I really want to help people that need the help, not people that want the fucking help. My bad. Let me get some more comments. Get it, I'm not offended in any way. Please don't take it that way. I want the package to go to someone that deserves it as much as you. It is not intended to be offensive. Sorry. At this point, it's your intentions to offend. You've upset all the admins with some of your comments. You say you don't want to offend, but you're like a scolded child in the corner who keeps on bringing it up. If it's not your intention to offend, stop bringing it up. I have a question. If anything knows anything about electricity, not me, brother. My dad's an electrician. You know, you might be able to ask me once he gets here. He's an electrician. He does all my wiring, but I don't. That's why he does it, because it scares me. Made everything I have using the belt grinder to make my own. If I can build it, I will. That's right, Coffee. Draw that thing. Take as many pictures as you can of it, please, so you can build that belt grinder, because I'm gonna tell you, John Coffee will be the first one to tell you a belt sander like that coming to you because you need it will change your life. He files knives by hand. John Coffee does it. Coffee's Forge. He's never used a sander like that. The man still hasn't put in a bio video. I don't know why. Obviously, he says that he has the ability, so he does not want to be even considered, and I respect the hell out of that. He has the ability to make these things that he wants, but he doesn't have them yet, but he plans to use them. But he took it upon himself to go and pick up that sander for us out of his kind heart, put a power cord on it, test it, and everything. And he gets to use it until we ship it out, and the man's going to ship it out without a complaint in the world, and that is admirable from me. I commend you for that, sir. I really think you're a worthy recipient of what we're doing, because he stands there up until this point hand filing knives with a file jig. I mean, that right there is the essence of what we're after here. People that want to learn and do this bad enough, they're willing to take a file and a jig. That's how I started, was a wooden jig, an eye bolt, and a file on a rod, until I worked my way up to this. So, John Coffee, that's the right spirit, brother. Thank you. Yes, my email is to order hammers, Keith. If you would like, I will comment in the comment section under J&J. I have another account, J&J Services LLC. That's my business. I have a YouTube account. So if you ever see me comment, and anybody see a comment from J&J Services LLC, that's me. I'm going to put a comment down here with my email address real quick. Okay, there it is. All I know is two-pronged. It goes in the wall. That's right, Derek. Just plug something in. Is it too early for a beer, buddy? No, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, Joe. Let's see. Matthew Nielsen, what's up, buddy? Shamrock Ford building a drilling rig. See you later. Keith Whipple, you're welcome, sir. Hit me up on my email. I will definitely take care of you. We'll get back to you. Hey, my sister's here. Good morning, sis. How you doing? Dad's on his way up. If you want to come over and bring the kids later, we'll cook something on the grill. We might cook some barbecue on the grill. But no. Again, thanks guys for watching. And this was really, I wanted to see what everybody's interest was in me starting a Patreon and just testing the water to see if it is a possibility to support my family with blacksmithing. I want to know. I really want to know what you guys think. I'm not asking for help. I'm just wondering what your opinion is. I'm the type of person I will always find a way to make it work for my family because they are number one to me. But like I said, I had tons of people come to me and ask me about this. So I'm going to let you guys leave some comments down here. Shoot me an email. I just posted my email in there, what you think. And if there's enough people that would legitimately support what I'm doing, then I'll start a Patreon for sure. And if I did start a Patreon, there would be some incentives for the folks that are a part of it. It's not just going to be, hey, you know, thanks for donating the money. I will go out of my way to do giveaways specifically for the Patreons of a certain level, you know,
I can't feasibly guarantee you that I'll give you a rounding hammer on $1 a month donation or Patreon pledge, but someone who's pledging $5-10 a month, after 12 months, they about just bought a rounding hammer anyway. So why wouldn't I be able to just give them a rounding hammer after that amount of time or something? So something along those lines, you know. It's it's something that I've been kicking around, and I'm thinking about putting into action. I just want you guys' opinion on this. I sincerely apologize for everything. To all admin, sorry, I will no longer comment on the forging it forward and anyone else's. I will see what you're saying and understand. Martin, thank you. It's not that you can't comment on it, bud, but just stop considering yourself as a candidate. That's all. That's it. Consider yourself as a maker, because I would consider you a maker with the amount of tools you got. I really would. We have makers and admins in the makers group that have less tools than you that are making tools for people. So if you want to be a maker, you're more than welcome. Anybody's welcome in Forging It Forward. Anybody's welcome to be the makers of Forging It Forward, as long as they can make quality tools. Okay. So please don't stop commenting and talking about Forging It Forward, Martin. That's not what we want you to do. We want you to stop trying to consider yourself as a recipient. That's all. And if that works for you, brother, that's all we're asking, you know, because we really, truly want to help people that need it. Okay. FSins97, hey, brother, what's up? How's it going? Aaron, I would really like to see pictures of that. I just spent the lady 2 days cutting up forklift forks for 220-pound anvil build. Thoughts? Forklift forks, Aaron, is awesome for an anvil. It's generally like a 4140 or something like that. I use some of them. My upsetting block is the end of a forklift tine. It's about 3 foot long and buried into the ground flat to where just the top sticks out of the ground, so it's right beside my anvil. So if you ever see me in one of my videos pounding something looks like I pounded it into the ground, I'm pounding it on my upsetting block that I have buried there, and it's made of a forklift fork. Also, I have a striking anvil that is made of a forklift fork. I just need to get a water jetted hole in it, but forklift forks, perfect. Perfect, brother. My goal is to be done working for somebody else by fall, make knives and other blacksmithing stuff. There you go, Coffee. Do it. Martin, if you want to be a maker, shoot us an email. You got Jason's email, you got my email, and we can definitely hook you up with that, man. For real, we can. If that's what it's going to take, if that's how you get involved, by all means, brother. As long as you're willing to get involved, that makes my heart happy. Thank you. What's the best steel for an anvil top? Well, David, that's a beast with many heads. It's your preference, really. Tool steel would definitely be the best. Any type of tool steel at that point is up to you. Anything that you can harden really would work as a perfect anvil top, and it doesn't even need to be hardened. It could be soft. I would not recommend cast iron. It is hard enough to forge on for a short period of time. You're going to ding it, break it, bend it, bust it. Wrought iron, it's even softer than cast iron. So solid wrought with a tool steel face is great, but a solid piece of wrought's not going to work. You're going to bust that into pieces, I feel. I have seen anvils with like H13 or S7 cast for the top. Some of them are even made out of solid H13. If you can get something like that, dude, you will never have to worry about messing your anvil up ever again, unless you're hitting it with an H13 or an S7 hammer. Pretty much, because or titanium. That's bottom line. And you can forge weld them the same. You can forge weld S17 or H13. You can do that. You just gotta get really hot, you know. So it's really your preference and what you can get. Any kind of steel will work other than wrought iron or cast iron, I think. So the harder you can get it, the better, and less brittle. You're good. It's a switch issue on a salvage wood lathe. Oh, Richard Bryant, I don't know anything about that stuff. So yeah, definitely send me that message and I'll see what my dad can do for you. Tractor weights work. Yes, they do, Coffee. They work and they're big. They're definitely big. I went to a sale when I actually bought my anvil that I use now. They had some tractor weights that were bigger than my anvil that I actually considered grabbing up to use for some different types of anvils. I have a mill ball, a huge mill ball.
It's like this. It's a 12 or 13 inch diameter ball. I think it's made of 52-100 or maybe H13 because it is it has the most rebound of anything I've ever put my hammer to. It's a solid steel ball, weighs as much as my anvil. And I'm thinking about mounting that up as like an armor making anvil. What do you guys think about that? If you'd like to see me try to make some armor, let me know, because I'm interested in trying. Because it's a giant ball that I think I can turn a lot of armor on. Definitely. Semi-spring is close to 1.25 inches by 3 inch. Could make a strike. Yeah. That if it's that thick, because my striking anvil is only 2 inches thick. So if you could stack a couple of them up and weld them together, you'd have you an anvil, man. Definitely, that semi-truck spring. As a matter of fact, I've got a semi-truck spring out here that's nowhere near that size. So if you got some that size, you got some monsters. The ones I got are about 6 foot long and probably a 1/2 inch thick and 5-6 inches wide. Any thoughts on a list of Harbor Freight tools that are good for a tight budget? I know some are good, but some are like my ex-wife, but less unpleasant to work with. I will say, Harbor Freight is where I get a lot of my consumable discs, for sure. Flat discs, things like that. I get a lot of them from there. Cutting wheels, grinding wheels, wire wheels, a lot of grinder accessories. I get there. 1x30. If you are going to Harbor Freight, you're just starting out, get a 1x30 belt sander. They're dirt cheap. They're like 40, 50 bucks, maybe not even. You go up there during a parking lot sale with 20% coupon off, your ass might come home with it for $15. The belts are dirt cheap. They come in packages of like 4 or 5. I've made several things with mine. I still have, well, I was about to lie to you. I don't still have mine. I just gave it away to a fellow that came by here last week. Helped me clean the shop up, matter of fact, and gave it to him, and he took it home, and he's going to use it around his house. But up until that point, I used it to still make my handles for things when I did make handles. My hammers, I don't make custom handles for the simple fact I want an ease of access for the person buying them. I don't want you to have to try and make a custom hammer handle to put back in the head if you mistrike and break your handle. I want you to be able to run down to the hardware store, pick one up for $6 and smack it back in there, you know? So, but 1x30 is, I think, invaluable for a beginner, man. Definitely. It's cheap. It's going to teach you control. It's going to let you, there you can customize it. You can change the platen. You can put different kind of, you can put a different platen on it, different table on it, all that stuff. It's adjustable, and it'll teach you how to do plunge lines and keep a clean, straight grinding and everything. And I think that's essential before you, I don't recommend jumping straight into a 2x72, just for the simple fact of John Coffey could be a demonstration. His first time using one, he showed a picture on Forging It Forward of it about eating the top of his knuckle off because he touched the belt, because the damn thing will hog off meat and steel really fast. I think learning with a smaller one from Harbor Freight, the 1x30 is the best way to go if you're going. Hammers, yeah, a hammer guy is going to tell you to pick up a Harbor Freight hammer. If you're just starting out, obviously, if you're having to compile a list and you need a budget list and you can't afford right now to buy a custom hammer, so go get a 2-pound hammer, cross peen hammer, or I would prefer you get a cross peen if you're going to Harbor Freight, simply because you don't have many other options. They don't sell straight peens at Harbor Freight. They don't sell rounding and flatting hammers at Harbor Freight. They sell mini sledgehammers and cross peens. So pick up like a 2-pound cross peen, dress it up, get you taken, put it on that 1x30 sander on the high grit finish, like a 120 or 220 belt, and even higher than that if you can get it, and round the edges up, the radiuses of those faces, you know. When you get a Harbor Freight hammer, it's not going to be round like that. It's, you know, it's going to be flat, and then it's going to have a sharp angle. Clean those edges up. No sharp edges on your hammer faces, because those are going to translate straight into your work. See, even the flat faces on my hammers are rounded on the edges. They're not like that on the Harbor Freight. So clean those edges up, and it'll do fine with you until you decide whether or not you love the craft enough to try and put money into a custom hammer. Let's see. Will I have to re-harden top plate after welding to a base? I imagine I cut in 8 12-inch pieces, 7 standing up and 1 laying down on the top. I'm worried about heat of welding. That's for the semi-truck spring, I'm imagining you're talking about? Or are you talking about the fork? Yeah, you're talking about the forklift fork. You don't have to harden it. I don't think you would. I wouldn't. I wouldn't re-harden it. I'd grind, weld. I'd definitely preheat your work. Weld it. Grind each weld. Please grind each weld. You're just asking for it to come apart on you if you don't. Grind each weld. Get all the slag and crap out of it and put another layer down. And just do that and let it cool. I wouldn't worry about re-hardening it, because when you make something to that size of a forklift fork, you're going to need a creek or a river to quench it. Okay? You ain't going to have anything big enough in your yard or in your house to quench and harden that block of steel. So you need to focus more on getting clean, solid welds on that thing than I would hardening it. And if it ever becomes an issue, you know, after you've welded it to where you start seeing your hammers leaving marks in the anvil constantly, maybe you want to consider re-hardening it. But I'm going to tell you that takes a big fire and a lot of water. A lot. Okay? There's a reason mouse hole anvils are actually called mouse holes. This is a little bit of knowledge for you. A lot of folks don't know this. If you know why a mouse hole anvil is called a mouse hole anvil, leave it in the comments, and then I'll give it a couple minutes to see what folks come up with. Please don't go Google it, because I don't have Google. I'm gonna sit right here and tell you what it is. So be honest with me. But a lot of people don't know why it's called a mouse hole. So go and look, or I'm gonna give you some time. Leave a comment down here if you already know, and then I'll revisit that and tell you why. Huge piece of cast steel, about 2,000 pounds. Anyone have any idea on how to cut an anvil? It's about 18 inches square. I'd say a big ass bandsaw, or a plasma cutter, or a water jet. Or teach your son how to use a hacksaw and say, hey, by the time you're 20, you're going to have an anvil. I don't know. That's a big piece of steel. Use a piece of snowplow cutting edge for the anvil face. Yep. Keith Whipple. There you go. I'm definitely interested in trying to make some armor. I'm thinking with a helmet first. So I'll see what I can do about getting a video made of that. The 1x30 good tip. I'm going to go check that out. Grizzly's 2x72 is really hard to use on smaller projects. Yes, that's another thing you're going to find. The smaller belt will get into smaller, tighter places, and it's a plus, definitely. I don't do too much high detail work. So mine's not an issue. It didn't hurt me to let mine go. But if you do a lot of detailed work, the 1x30 is great for that. It's really good for that. Yeah, I think I would. 2.5 pound, I think. You want to get a 2 pound, I love it. Just so cheap Harbor Freight when it works. It's my favorite. Yep. The cheap Harbor Freight ones, they work until they don't work for you. Once you get some experience under your belt and you start understanding the hammer and stuff, you're going to understand how plain the Harbor Freight hammers are. They don't have, for one, they might be pot metal made of a melted down tire rim. You never know what they're made of. More reputable companies use tool steel. Some companies use case hardened junk mild steel. So you really need to just, it's hit or miss with them. And every single one of them you have to test on how you're going to heat treat it if you ever want to turn it into something else, you know. So, best welder for a beginner. Brian, I would have to say that a TIG or MIG welder, honestly, if you're a beginner and you've never welded, arc welding is going to be, I learned arc welding. That's how I learned, only because of one of the jobs I had growing up. I was an iron worker, and that's how they do the iron work, because they got to get really deep penetration. That's how I had to learn how to weld. But I will tell you this, it's way easier to weld with a MIG welder. To start out with, just so you can practice, you're not going to get good penetration with them. The Harbor Freight welders work fine. I started with a Harbor Freight welder, the Chicago Electric one. It'll work till it doesn't. That's the Harbor Freight motto. Pick one of those up for cheap, a little 110 volt, 120 amp, 140 amp MIG welder from them, and get some flux core wire so you don't have to worry about trying to get the gauges and the bottle and all that stuff. And just see how you like welding with a MIG welder. If you're pretty good at it, you can go down to a steel supplier. I have a Miller North Star. It's a North Star welder made by Miller that I picked up for like $350, maybe a little more. I paid like $500 total for the whole setup, but the welder itself with the gauges and the leads and all that was only like $350, and it is awesome. It's a 140 amp welder. I can get about a 1/2 inch penetration with that, and I don't think there's anything a blacksmith does short of working on anvils and shit that they need more than a 1/2 inch penetration. All I use my welder for is to weld handles on the stuff, you know, tack something together. I'm not doing structural steel here, so a little 140 amp welder will serve its purpose for you and do a lot for you. You'll like it, and you can get them fairly cheap just to learn with from Harbor Freight. F Sims 97. I own a Colonial mouse hole, so I want to know why it's called that. That's why I just ordered a custom hammer from Daniel Moss. Thanks, Ben Toombs. Upgraded from a Harbor Freight welder at work, and I gave it to somebody else. Better answer than mine. I was going off what I learned welding program in West Georgia Tech during my quarter there. It's alright, Ben Toombs. Just make sure your next hammer purchase comes to me. I'm kidding. You buy hammers that you like. I don't force anybody or beg anybody to buy any of my hammers. I understand that some of them don't like my hammers, and that's fine. But I would definitely say if you like his hammers, get them, because nothing beats a handmade custom hammer for you. And if it's what you want, go get it, because it's made for you. That's another reason I make my customers pay up front for my hammers. You're not sending me a check. You're not sending me cash. I'm not ripping. You're going through a pay service, so I'm not going to rip you off. And all the hammers that are sold, custom made to order. So everybody pays up front, but it's made specifically for you at your request, like you want it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why a mouse hole is called a mouse hole. Over in, I believe Germany, not mistaken, Germany, wherever they're made, they're called a mouse hole because the foundry and the forge is built over top of a river. If anybody knows anything about rivers and streams and water currents and things like that, the turn in a river, okay, one side of that bank is going to be one side of that river is going to be deeper than the other, simply from physics. All the water is going around that corner, hitting and coming back, so it's hitting the other side the far side of the river from you harder, eroding it away, making it deeper, making it move faster, making that water current go through there stronger. Mouse hole anvils are built, their forge and foundry was built over top of one of those because they used the mouse hole of a river to quench their anvils. A hole in their floor, they come right out with bars and they dunk it right down in the river through the floor, and that's how they got their name mouse hole anvils, because they quench in the mouse hole of the river, because the water is moving faster. There's more water coming through, volume of water coming through there at one time, so they can get a good quench on their anvil. It's deep enough to do the job. So that's why they're called a mouse hole anvil, for those of you who didn't know that. Let's see. We had a deal going, so if we can get a deal next one, will come from you. Ben Toombs, I'm a willing and dealing sucker. You never know what you can get out of me until you ask. Alright, I love my hammer for sure that you made, that I might add. Thank you, Richard Bryant. Happy customer. Richard Bryant got the first hammer in the Forging It Forward series. So his is marked #1, and I'm pretty sure he's pretty excited about that from what he said. Joe Hammond, the more you know. Yes, sir. The more you know. I attack life every day with that motto, man. I feel like if you don't learn something every day, you wasted your time. It's a waste of a day. I don't care what. If I go all day without learning something, I'll pick up a damn book and read something and learn it. I got to. It's just, I feel like a waste of time. If you tread in water, you're standing still, you're not going forward, you might as well be moving backwards because everybody else is passing you. That's crazy good information. I never would have guessed that. Yeah, an old blacksmith told me that whenever I went and bought my first anvil from him, actually. He had several, he had a mouse hole there, and I said, mouse hole? Started looking at it, I was like, there's nothing on this damn anvil. It looks like a mouse hole. Why is it called a mouse hole? And then that's when he told me. He said, Richard Bryant, yes, he's very happy we put it to work, and he's headed out to continue to put it to work. Brother, that's awesome. I'm getting ready to go make some more as soon as this live stream is done, which is happening here shortly. We've been going for an hour now. So, life lessons with James. Yep, you can come learn what mouse holes are and the proper terminology for a grill. Yeah, I've watched videos of you making hammers, and you make a pretty damn good hammer, sir. Thank you, Ben Toombs. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I really enjoy making them. I honestly think forging it forward, if a little touch on that, is what's gave me my love of tools. Not forging it forward itself, but the whole motto. It's when I started out, I had the money, but it's hard to justify to my wife to go and spend it on this and that and this and that, all the time without her getting mad at you. So, yeah, you got to buy some of the big stuff, but a lot of little stuff you got to make. So I took pride in saying, hey, I want to know how to make these things for myself before I go out and spend a ton of money on it. And that's what got me into my love of making tools, because I would make a tool and the damn thing would break. What happened? Why did it break? So I started learning about metallurgy. Why is the metal breaking? Only after I cool it in water. That's when I learned about hardening with rebar. Because I was using rebar, I was like, there's no way this thing should be getting hard and breaking. Why is it breaking when I cool it in water? That's when I learned rebar's hot dog steel. It literally could have 10 different types of steel in one piece of rebar. Some mild, some not, So that gave me my love of making tools, because I was constantly having to make tools. I was saying, well, shit, I need this tool to make that tool. So if you know anything about Alex Steele or Brian Brazil, Brian Brazil taught Alex Steele. Brian Brazil is like my idol. I call him that. God's my idol. But if there was ever a man that you were allowed to idolize, it'd be Brian Brazil in my eyes. I model myself after him and his evolution of tool making program. Okay, he teaches you how to make the tools, to make the tools, to make the tools that you need to make what you want to make. And I find that fascinating, that I can go out and just make any kind of tools that I want with these, my bare hands. A little bit of fire in these, my hands. I don't got to go spend money if I don't want to. If I don't want to spend money, I don't have to. Use this, my shoulder, my back, I can make it happen. And that's what made me fall in love with it, because every tool that I use, I've made. Well, aside from 3 pairs of tongs, when I first started out, I bought some tongs because I was needing them for a specific purpose. Now I can make those tongs, so I'll never buy another set of tongs. Every tool I have that I use out there to make all these tools that I'm making, I made. And there's a lot of gratification and satisfaction that comes from making your own tools. So much so that it caused me to fall in love with it. Fall in love with simply tools. And that's why I sell mostly just tools. I sell anything that you want if I can make it, but I sell mostly tools. Let's see. I'm going to have you make me a hammer eye punch, I do believe. Well, Richard Bryant, let me see here. I got a piece of S7 right there with your name on it, buddy. You just tell me when. We'll hook you up. Let's see. I paint landscapes and such, and have traded paintings for some of my tools any way you can. That's right, any way you can. Trade some of your work for someone else's work. Keep your artistic life alive. Thumbs up. Yeah, Derek. I'll get you converted to grills in no time. Dead on. I had a blow deadener which made a loud ping, and I got to watch the head and half the handle sail over my head. It's still great for planishing though. Yep. Absolutely. I'm exactly right with you, but luckily I had a bit of leeway because my woman's pretty much pushing me into it because that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, my wife, she's very supportive too, man. She told me, whenever we've been discussing the stuff with the business, she said, what about trying to make a living blacksmithing? Because that's what you love. And I said, well, yeah, that's what I love, but do I really think I can make a living at it? Is there really going to be enough people out there buying my stuff regularly? Buying this, buying that? You know, is there going to be enough love for my tools, my style, to make a living at it to where I can support? Because I have a wife and 3 children. You know, I've got a dog. I've got bills I've got to pay. I've got all that stuff. It's not a cheap feat to do by yourself. So you got to make, realistically, I got to bring down about $800 a week. And that's not a lot of money. It's really not. But that's bottom dollar what I can make a week to pay my bills and survive and feed my family. So can blacksmithing make me $800 a week after overhead? After overhead, $800 take home. Okay, not I sold $800 worth of stuff. I've got 150 in materials and consumables, and you know, so I've really made $650. That's not gonna cut it. So I've really got to evaluate that and see if I can make a living at it. But my wife, she's all about it. She's like, man, do it because you love it. You love it. Forging is magic. That's right, Joe Hammond. It is. I'm a newbie making, from YP Donnie, I'm a newbie making my first punch today. I'm using a big Allen wrench. Would that work? Good steel? Any type of steel will work for a punch. Any type. Any type of steel will work for a punch. Don't let anybody tell you it won't. If they tell you gotta use hardened steel, they're regurgitating shit they heard somewhere else. Anybody that has experience will tell you you can punch a hole with a piece of mild steel. You may have to redress that punch more often and sharpen it and blah, blah, blah. But you can still take a cold punch and punch a hole in hot steel with that mild steel punch. So yeah, the Allen wrench will work for you for your first punch. Absolutely. Don't ever let anyone say you have to harden your tools. You don't. That's a damn lie. Okay, I harden some of my tools simply because I know how to heat treat them. All of my top tools and stuff, I mainly only harden that much of the tip of it, if that. And generally that heat treat's gone after the first few uses anyways, because you're punching in hot steel. Okay, I definitely never heat treat the struck end because you don't want to hit a hardened top tool with a hardened hammer and kill yourself. I assure you, a piece of steel into that artery right there is not going to bode well for your survival rate between your forge and the hospital. So don't ever harden top tools if you don't know how to heat treat and what part to harden and what part not to harden and how to temper it back and stuff like that. I would suggest tool steel if you don't want to dress your punches, but any steel will work. So anybody tells you it won't is an outright lie. Okay. Let me get back some of these messages. Let's see. Pound that like button too, guys. I've had a lot of folks come in and out. There's 27 likes up there. Hit that like button. Okay, back to that one. Man, I love this forging it forward. Can't tell you the enthusiasm I feel for this. All I have is a railroad track for an anvil barbecue forge. You mean a grill forge? I made with a ball peen hammer with a ton of determination. Donnie, kudos to you, brother. My first forge was a hole in the ground, and when that didn't work, I just stacked a bunch of fire bricks up around it and put a piece of cast iron or ductile iron pipe with some holes drilled in it through it and pumped air into it. That didn't work, so I explored other options and wound up with what I've got now. So I didn't buy any of my forges. I've built all of my forges up to the one that I'm building now. I'm actually building a 3-burner. Been kind of slack on it because of the winter time and the refractory, waiting on it to warm up. But once the winter subsides and North Carolina decides she's not bipolar anymore and wants to give us some warm air for a few days, I'll get the refractory in there and get her fired up and make sure I'll finish that series up for you guys, because some people have asked me why I haven't finished that series yet, and that's why. It's too cold to get the refractory to do right without cracking and busting. So yeah, that determination is what I like to see, man. That's what Forge It Forward is about, man. We want to see the passion. Somebody that's going to get out there and do that shit's got passion. They really do. Lim Buck, you're finally here, man. I was wondering, did you quit? Did you stop coming to the live feeds? Where you been? You better not miss church tomorrow. Big Dog will be mad at you. Trading was how it was done for the older days. I'll trade you some fish for some carrots. I'm a woodworker. I'll build you a bed frame if you make me some hammers. See? Yeah, exactly. Trade and barter. It's what made the world go around. It's whenever all this love for money, is what's ruining people. It's making my stuff worth more than yours. Well, bullshit. Okay? You need a hammer to build a house just as much as you need the lumber. Okay? Bottom line. You know? Oh, and there's my lovely wife. Everyone say hello to Camilla Davis. That is my lovely wife. She always supports me and watches, and thank you for the shout out, babe. You're number one in my book. Thank you. She's in the house taking care of my wonderful youngins right now, actually getting my house taken care of so my father and my mother can come up here, and boom, have somewhere to stay. It's nice and comfortable for them. My wife's in there taking care of that. Dr. Strangewater, plan on sitting in my garage so I can work without moving everything every time. Yeah, brother. Trust me, I know. This building I'm sitting in right now is only a 12 by 20. And when I originally got it, it was crammed full. I used to buy storage units and sell stuff at auction. I did pretty well at that. I just didn't have the help, so I couldn't sustain it for too much longer. But if you ever do that, that stuff pays well. It does. It pays really well. I used to have to put everything in this thing and take it out every weekend. In and out, in and out. And then finally I said, no, this is my shop. And then my shop was full to where I had to move things around. You've seen how full it just recently got opened up, man. And it's amazing how much more productive you can be when you're not trying to move shit everywhere. It's amazing. You can just walk in and get straight to work. Yeah, Ben Toombs, it is a hell of a lot of work, sir. If you've never picked up a piano with one other person and stuck it in the back of a minivan, I don't think you know what lifting heavy shit is all about. We had a unit one time where we spent $100 on the unit because nobody else wanted it because it had a piano in it. We bought the piano unit, wound up making a killing on the unit because nobody wanted to mess with the piano. Me and one of the guys helping me, we picked that piano up from the ground, lifted it up. We didn't roll it up a ramp. We picked it up and stuck it in the back of my wife's van and drove it home. Took it out of the van and carried it up the steps in through the sliding glass door of my house. And it probably weighed about 800 pounds, 700 pounds, something like that. It's heavy. It had a cast plate on the back of it all the way from one side to the other, top to bottom like that, that gave it its sound. Heavy. That's one of the reasons I'm not doing it, because I don't have the muscles to do that. Sorry. Okay. I know it's crazy money. It's crazy money's imaginary anyway. It's worth something because we believe it. That's right. Money's only worth what we say it's worth, man. So I'd rather trade with folks, but I can't trade with the bill collectors. I wish I could. I'd send them every damn one of them a hammer every week. I'd send them all hammers. That's all I would do. If I could trade them hammers for my bills. PTSD is a subtle beast. It's amazing how many things it touches in your life without you even realizing. That's right. It does. It really can. And Richard Bryant, I'm really glad to hear that your wife supports you because it helps your PTSD. PTSD can come from a lot of things, folks, and it's not just a wartime thing. It's a traumatic thing in your life that's happened to you that's caused a major change in your life and affected things in one way or another that you had no control over. That's PTSD. And it doesn't mean that you were shot at or shot or blown up. It just means that you watched your dog get ran over, and then not only did you watch your dog ran over, the asshole stopped, backed up, ran over it again. That's pretty traumatic as a child, and that's going to fuck with you. So that's PTSD. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, me and my friend lifted a riding mower in the back of my van once. I learned my lesson. Coffee's got his shed and everything. That's awesome. So, yeah, I think we've had you guys here long enough. We got 34 people watching right now. That's awesome. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get to work. I've got hammers to make. Like I said, this was intended really to see what y'all's thoughts were on my Patreon. If I was to set one up, please let me know what you think. If I would get any support on Patreon, I would be more than happy to set it up. I'm going through some changes right now. I'm still going to be able to feed my family. Hopefully. If this downsize works, I'm not sure it's going to work, but that's the option I have right now. And that's what I'm going for. So if you guys would ever be interested in Patreon or anything like that, please let me know. If you're interested in any kind of tools, like I said, I'm going to be spending a lot more time in the forge than usual because of this downsize. I'm going to have to try and use the forge to supplement my income a lot more. So if, Peter, you're not late yet, but I'm getting ready to be. If you have any interest in anything, I know I've turned several folks away because I just can't keep up with the orders and work like that in my home life. But now it's becoming a realistic possibility that I'm going to be in this forge a lot. Okay, and I'm not upset about that because this is what I love. But at this time, I'll probably be doing that to make money instead of for my passion. But I'm going to be making money doing my passion, so it doesn't upset me to do that at all. Because I believe if you're passionate about what you do for a living, you'll never work another day in your life. So if there's any interest, if I've turned you away, please come back, contact me again, because some things have just come and changed since taxes and all that, and it's a lot of different things that I could go into that would keep you guys here for weeks on end, and you just would be bored to death. So I'm not gonna go into it. Just know that I'm a fighter. I'm not giving up, and I'm gonna keep on keeping on. And if I've got to spend every waking hour in this forge to make my family happy and to support them, I will. That's what I do. Okay. So to that, I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get the less yak and more whack, so to speak, kind of thing. And I'll have some videos coming out real soon. I've got one of a hammer eye punch coming out. I haven't put it up just yet because I was giving Jason some time to let folks on his, because matter of fact, me and him made our hammer eye punches at the exact same time unknowingly. We did not know that we were making hammer eye punches and making videos of them at the exact same time, but we did. And I had a windstorm come through that stopped me mid-process of making mine, so I couldn't finish mine at the same time as his, so his video went up first. So I was like, I'm going to wait for a little bit to put my video up. So that's what I've done, but it's going to be going up in the next couple of days of my hammer eye punch and how I make mine. And I'd love if you guys go check it out. And to that, you guys are awesome, man. Thank you for coming and watching my live streams. Thank you for being supporters of my channel. If I do set up a Patreon, you decide to support that, thank you. Just know it's going to come with a lot of benefits. It's not going to just be giving money and support. You are going to get some kickbacks, some perks, and I'm going to let you know that I appreciate it. So thank you. Hit the button if you haven't hit the button yet down below. Hit the like button on your way out the door. Hit the bell beside the subscribe button so you get notifications. I will be back again same time next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time for my live feed. So for any of you guys that like to come hang out with me on the weekends, come on. I think next week we're going to do some live forging. So spread the word, tell some friends. We may finish up those tongs that I burnt in half talking to y'all last time. This time I'm not going to burn them though. I'm going to pay attention. And you guys can watch more than I'm going to talk. And love everything about what everybody's doing with the Forging It Forward. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please share it. Ben Toombs, I don't know how well you're in contact with Roy. Let's get him into that Forging It Forward. I know Jessica joined up. I'm not sure if he has a Facebook page or not. If he does, though, let's get him joined up. Everybody go pester all these guys, these YouTube Smiths. We want to hear them blasting Forging It Forward from the top of the mountain, telling everybody about it. Get us involved because this craft is exploding. I know probably 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there was only I think statistics showed there was only 300 blacksmiths in America total. 20, 30 years ago, 300. There's more than that in this group now. So, yeah, we can blow this shit out of the water. We can make this thing huge, and we can bring a lot of focus back to a dying craft and art and trade way to promote self-worth and give you some good quality tools and handmade materials and stuff instead of all this cheap processed shit that's coming in from overseas. Let's start bringing some of this manufacturing back to us, and let's start learning how to fend for ourselves and do things the way that our forefathers did, because the world was a much happier place before now. It really was. I ain't giving up, Ben Toombs. Coffee, you have a good weekend as well, brother. Have to see if my hammers are better than Daniel Moss. I wouldn't say all that. Daniel Moss learned from Brian Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he? YP Donnie, I don't have a website yet. That's another thing that's coming within the week. I am going to be putting up a website. I'm going to be putting up a Facebook and all those things to make my life easier while trying to subsidize income for blacksmithing. That way you guys can go in and put in an order. I don't want to use Etsy. Sorry. I'd rather do email orders. Let you look or through a website instead of Etsy. I will do Etsy if that's what you guys require to buy my hammer. If that's what I have to do, but I don't do it. But I will have a website up, Facebook, all those things up for all the stuff that I do. Well, not all the stuff, just some of the stuff that I've done recently that I've got some pictures of and everything. And as I do more, I'll compile more photos in there just so you guys can see what I do. When I make something, I video it, I'll take pictures, you know. Up until recently, I wasn't one for video logging anything that I did. I didn't care to picture it or anything like that because it was just shit for me. You know, so everything up until about 3 months ago, it's like it doesn't exist. I can show you what I've got, but I don't have pictures of it because I didn't think to video and everything. But now that I'm videoing everything, I take pictures of everything. So, yeah, Roy's anti-Facebook. Yeah, and we've got several that are like that. I understand that, and I surely know that Facebook can cause a lot of problems in folks' lives, and that is unneeded. So, all right, guys. James, if you have a chance, can you give your email address, please? Lynn Buck, yes, I will. Announce this one more time. If you ever see JNJ Services LLC down in the chat on one of these guys' channels or on mine, that's me. That's my business. Okay, my business YouTube name, and that's who I am. If you ever see that, that's me. So I'm going to put my email in the chat one more time for you, Lynn Buck. There you go. It's down there. Daniel Moss is only just starting hammers. He's learning on the fly. I'm waiting for one. Oh, let me know how it works, Peter. I'd like to know how it works. Maybe you can, maybe I can send you one too and let you compare them one day. Can I make a video on Wolf Jaw Tongs? Sure, I can see about making a video for you on Wolf Jaws. Not a problem, Joe. Not a problem. All caught up and waiting on loads, and it's almost over. Yeah, that sucks. Well, it's over, guys. I got to get to work. I really got some hammers to make. I've probably got 14 more orders on the board right there. Let's give you a quick glimpse over there. They're stacked up. The two on the right, the ones I'm working on. The ones in the middle are ones that are upcoming. The one on the stack on the end are orders ready to be shipped. So if you ordered a hammer from you, yours might be coming to you soon. We'll be getting one from you when I can afford it. Well, you just say the word, brother. Well, you just say the word. Oh, okay, Daniel Moss. Yes, Daniel Moss. That's the Daniel Moss. For some reason, I was thinking of a different guy. I know you're talking about. All you had to do was say the Damascus one that Tim sent him. Yeah, he does a nice hammer. He does a nice hammer. He does. He's a full-time smith too, is he not? I've seen a couple he has made came out pretty good, and then the Damascus one from Tim, Big Dog, might have had an inclusion. Yeah, it's possible. It could have had an inclusion in it, you know. Or I know he uses power hammer and press. I do know that if you don't work Damascus at the right heat under those things, that you'll cause the delam yourself. So that could have been a possibility too. It could have just been gotten below that temperature range that you want to stay at. That's why I always say forge at such a high heat. Forge it at almost welding temperature. Sure, you're going to lose a little bit of decarb scale, but you're not going to lose the whole piece to a delamination. So it could be of many different things. Inclusions are a bastard in Damascus. It's just how that works. Sometimes you can do all you can and it still happens, you know. Like, let me show you guys one for example right here, right now. Okay. This right here, I haven't etched it, is a piece of feather patterned Damascus. Okay. This was a feather patterned billet that I made by hand using Jason's video. Look at the outside of that thing. That is gorgeous, is it not? Perfect. Solid as a rock. Do you see any delams anywhere whatsoever? That's not delam, that's dirt. See any kind of delams whatsoever? Nothing. No cuts, no cracks, no breaks, no nothing. Okay, imagine this thing twice as thick. Here's the other half, right here. I had it split down the middle. That was on the inside of it. A massive inclusion there, right there. No way for me to have known that because the entire billet welded up perfectly. See what I'm saying? Until I cut it open. Now, I did fix it. As you can see, I got it fixed on this other half here. This half, I don't know if I'll be able to fix it because it's so thin. But this half, I did get it fixed. I hope. I'm gonna try it. But inclusions happen, and you don't even know that they're there, because just by looking at that, you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell there's any kind of inclusions in the center of that block right there, because it's perfect, it's solid. Everywhere I ground when I was doing the grinding, you see how far away from the edge it is. I would have had to ground a 1/4 inch or better into that steel before I found that. No way for me to have known that. So, I mean, it may not be, it just luck of the draw. That's why I don't do a lot of Damascus. That's really why I don't do a lot of it, because you can put a lot of damn work into it for nothing. Come out with junk. All right, Christian, you're late. You sleeping late or what? Nathan Lewis. All right, I've been saying bye for a while, guys. I can keep saying bye, but I've got work to do, so I really appreciate everybody stopping in and watching. We've been here for almost an hour and a half now, man. My mouth's getting dry. I need a drink, and I need to get my forge fired up. Gotta go get some fuel for the forge and get to work. Got 2 hammers over there ready to drift and put some fullers in, so hit me up. I will keep you posted. I'll make sure to share a link in the Forging It Forward page to my new County Line Forge Facebook page once it's up and running completely. I will also make sure that I keep all my subscribers and viewers definitely up to date on Patreon, because I really think that I've gotten like 8 emails during this live stream about Patreon already, me saying that. So I really think that might be something that's going to happen. And if you guys want to support me, that would be awesome. That'd be amazing. That would help me be able to continue giving you all these videos, because I know every YouTube Smith says it's kind of like beating a dead dog, but it takes a lot of time to make these videos for you guys, and we make nothing, especially me. I'm not a monetized channel. I got 516 subscribers right now. I don't make any money off YouTube. 0. I didn't lose any money off of YouTube either when they did that ad apocalypse. I've never had any kind of revenue come from YouTube, and I'm fine with that. But I've obviously got enough people interested that have said they want to be a Patreon supporter, so I think I'm going to set that up. So if you guys would really be interested in supporting me through Patreon, that would help me continue with these videos. I'm going to keep making them anyways, but that would just probably benefit the fact that I can make more of them, make better. Okay, so yeah. I'll keep you all posted on that. Thank you for spending your time with me this morning. I really appreciate it. Pound that button on the way out. Make sure you're at Big Dog Forge on YouTube tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific for church with the Hammerheads and Reverend Tim. A lot of folks go to that, and we just pal around, and he's always got something cool to talk about or show or whatever, and it's a lot of good fun, good fellowship, and we're just going to kick around some ideas. Be there. Don't miss it. And as we say here at County Line Forge, I love you guys, and we're going to catch you on the next one.